All right, welcome to this course. Now, in this course, you're going to learn how to create RAG-based system. And basically what you're going to be doing here, this is what you'll be achieving at the end of this course. So you can see here I have my deployed application inside this Laravel cloud. And what you can see here is I've deployed this application on Laravel, and these are the latest deployments that I have done. Right. Also, I'm going to show you how to achieve this at the end of this course. So this is the current document that I have uploaded inside this RAG bot, and we can go ahead and chat with this document. So here we have, for example, you can see we have the workbench, and of course, this is the title of the document. We have our chat stream whereby we can chat with our document. Then we also have the sources of the given document. Then, of course, the document title and also the chunks of that given document. So in this case, we only have 3 chunks. And as you can see on my right side, on the context viewer, what you can see here is that I have, for example, chunk ID 1. And of course, we have the information there. And we also have chunk ID 2 and also chunk ID 3 like that. So now here, this means that you can chat with this document. And of course, when you come back to chat stream, here you can see we have ask question about your document. So what you can do here is, for example, I can look at chunk ID 2. So here I'm going to ask question, what about phase 3 here? Now remember, I'm using Gemini for this purpose, but you can also use other models such as OpenAI, etc. So here I have this. So what about phase 3? So I'm asking the information about this particular here. So I'm going to send this. Then it's going to go to the thinking mode. Then as you can see, the AI has returned for me, or basically the agent has returned me the information that pertains to chunk ID 2, and then it has, of course, cited the relevant chunk. So you can see here we have, of course, the information about phase 3. That is, it involves the following guidelines: built from scratch. You should build the project from ground up to ensure you understand every decision. And then it also shows the different references from where it has extracted that information from. So this is what we have in chunk ID 2. So that's how you do it. And then we can also go back to so this is this, and then now let's go back the admin. There's a login admin, then there's a password. Then once you log in, this is now the admin part. So the admin part is able to upload the given document, that is, for example, choose the file. And as you can see, this is the document that I have here, the PDF file. And then once you do that, you type the title of that document, and then you go ahead and upload the document. So currently I've already done this, and that means that we already have the document status indexed. The chunks are 3. Now, in case the document doesn't get indexed, then you're going to have failed here as the highlight. So, and then you can also delete the document if you want to and upload another. You can also refresh the status of the document as well. And yeah, that's how you create the RAG-based system. So let me meet you in the next video. All right, welcome back. Now let's go and test this. So we can see that this is our context viewer, which has the different chunks with the numerical ID as I described earlier. And all these are the chunks from our given ragbot docs.md PDF. So this is what we have, and these are the different chunks. Now what you're going to do is ask a question about your document. For example, let's ask a question about information that is not within our PDF. So for example, here I'm going to ask what is bash here. And we know that when you look at this one, we know that we don't have anything to do with bash here. So let's go and do that. Just wait for it. All right, now you can see what we have here is that we don't have, in other words, it's saying that based on the uploaded document, there's no direct definition of what bash is. However, the term bash is used throughout because we do have some ints of bash. As you can see from our document here, there must be bash somewhere. There must be bash somewhere. And as you can see here, so this is what we have. So we have that. And for example, what is or who is Brian, or yeah, let's ask who is Brian like this. Also, let's see, we have that information. Now you can see I cannot find information in the uploaded document. That is what we have. So that tells us that we don't have, of course, Brian in this document. So what we can ask here, for example, we can ask about, just scroll here, and here let me ask this question here, and this is what I'm going to ask here. So DB engine does not support vector extension. What do I do then? So let's go and ask that and submit. Now, as you can see, this information is already captured in our document, and this is the place that it's captured. That is chunk ID 116. So this tells us that here now it gives us the response. If DB engine does not support the vector extension, you should run PostgreSQL with pgvector through Docker. And of course, this is what we have here. So we know about this. We can also click on this reference here, and it will take us to the relevant chunk that information has been sourced from. We can go ahead and also see it is giving us, of course, all the relevant information from our document, and your other projects can continue running on DB port while this project runs exclusively using the Docker port, and of course the reference is given as that. Right. So if you have any question, please go ahead and ask the questions in the comment section of this video. All right.